Imagine this. You spend your entire life trying to fit in, striving for approval, shaping yourself according to expectations that are not even your own. You seek validation, fear judgment, and hold on to the idea that your worth is measured by how others perceive you. But what if everything you've been taught about caring too much is actually holding you back? What if the key to true happiness, confidence, and success is not in controlling everything but in letting go? Michel de Montaigne, a philosopher centuries ahead of his time, explored this paradox deeply. His writings offer a guide to inner freedom, self-acceptance, and the art of living without unnecessary burdens. He challenged the very foundations of what we believe about identity, success, and the pressures of society. And by the end of this journey, you will understand why the moment you stop caring about external validation, everything in your life starts falling into place. Think about it. How much of your stress and frustration comes from trying to meet expectations that don't even belong to you? How often do you hold yourself back because you're afraid of being judged? How much of your energy is spent worrying about things that, in the grand scheme of life, have little meaning? Montaigne's philosophy reveals a simple yet powerful truth. The more we let go of external pressures, the more we align with our authentic selves. He believed that life is unpredictable, that perfection is an illusion, and that self-acceptance is the highest form of wisdom. But here's where most people get it wrong. Not caring doesn't mean being indifferent, lazy, or unmotivated. It doesn't mean withdrawing from life or ignoring responsibilities. It means freeing yourself from the constant need for approval, the fear of rejection, and the exhausting habit of overanalyzing every action. It means living on your own terms, being present in the moment, and understanding that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Montaigne spent much of his life reflecting on the nature of human behavior. He observed that people are often prisoners of their own minds, caught in endless cycles of worry, self-doubt, and insecurity. He questioned why we allow the opinions of others to shape our decisions, why we cling to control when life is inherently uncertain, why we chase an idea of success that is not even our own. And most importantly, he asked, what would happen if we simply stopped caring about these things? When you stop caring about being perfect, you begin to embrace your flaws. When you stop caring about external validation, you start living for yourself. When you stop trying to control everything, you make space for life to unfold naturally. And here's the paradox. The less you care about proving yourself, the more powerful you become. Think about the most confident, charismatic people you've ever met. Are they the ones constantly seeking approval, over-explaining themselves, and trying to be liked by everyone? Or are they the ones who seem at ease, unbothered by small worries, and unapologetically themselves? Montaigne understood this secret long before modern psychology confirmed it. People are drawn to authenticity. When you stop seeking validation, when you embrace your imperfections and trust yourself, you naturally become more attractive, not just socially but in every aspect of life. The moment you detach from the fear of failure or judgment, you gain something even more valuable: freedom. The freedom to take risks without overthinking. The freedom to express yourself without hesitation. The freedom to simply exist without constantly measuring your worth by external standards. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. Once you let go of unnecessary worries, not only do you find peace, but things in your life actually start to improve. Relationships become more genuine. Opportunities come naturally. Decisions become easier because they are based on what you truly want, not what you think you should want. This is the essence of Montaigne's philosophy. He believed that most of our suffering comes from resisting reality, from trying to force life into a mold that doesn't fit. But when you release that resistance, everything begins to align. Think about this. How many times have you hesitated to speak your mind because you were afraid of what others would think? How often do you replay conversations in your head, worrying about how you were perceived? How much of your life has been shaped by expectations that were never truly yours? Montaigne invites us to step away from these self-imposed limitations. He challenges us to embrace uncertainty, to accept imperfection, and to stop allowing fear to dictate our choices. And this is just the beginning. Because as we dive deeper into his philosophy, we will uncover practical ways to apply this mindset to your life. Ways that will help you break free from mental barriers, make decisions with confidence, and truly experience the freedom that comes from letting go. Michel de Montaigne's philosophy is not just an abstract idea. It is a practical guide to transforming the way you experience life. And now we take a step further. What happens when you truly embrace this mindset? What changes when you stop chasing approval, worrying about every possible outcome, and allowing fear to dictate your actions? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that most of the pressures weighing you down were never real to begin with. That the rules you have been following, the expectations you have been trying to meet, and the fears that have kept you stuck were all illusions created by society, conditioning, and your own mind. Montaigne understood that human beings are naturally anxious. We are constantly overthinking, trying to predict the future, and struggling against the unknown. But what if the key to happiness is not in solving every problem but in surrendering to the fact that some things are simply out of our control? One of Montaigne's most powerful lessons is this: the world will never fully understand you, and that is perfectly okay. Think about it. How often do we waste energy trying to explain ourselves, justify our choices, or prove our worth to people who may never truly see us? We hold back our true opinions to avoid conflict. We suppress our real desires to fit in. We constantly look outside of ourselves for validation when, in reality, the only approval that truly matters is our own. Montaigne believed that much of our suffering comes from caring too much about things that do not serve us. He observed how people tie themselves in knots over petty concerns, holding on to grudges, fears, and insecurities that ultimately add no value to their lives. And yet, when you step back, you realize that most of these worries are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop obsessing over a problem, a solution naturally appears? Or that when you stop chasing someone's attention, they suddenly become more interested? This is no coincidence. It is a reflection of a deeper truth. When you let go, life flows. The problem is, most people resist this idea. They believe that if they stop caring, they will lose motivation, that letting go means giving up. But this is a misunderstanding. Not caring does not mean apathy. It does not mean laziness. It means shifting your focus to what truly matters and freeing yourself from the weight of unnecessary burdens. Montaigne encouraged us to embrace imperfection, not just in ourselves but in the world around us. He understood that striving for absolute control is an exhausting, never-ending battle. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we try to plan, prepare, or manipulate outcomes, there will always be things beyond our reach. So why not surrender to this truth? Why not accept that mistakes, failures, and uncertainties are simply part of existence? Because here is the ultimate realization: you do not need to control everything to be happy. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to fear uncertainty, because life itself is uncertain, and that is what makes it beautiful.